Hey guys, what's up? MadSeason here, and welcome to Q&A number 3. This is a series where I take your questions as long as they're World of Warcraft related and I answer them in video form. As always, we have a lot of great questions, so let's get right into it. First up, we have a dual question from Patreon from a couple of longtime viewers, and that's from Jmac and Cyclone Z. Jmac's question is, if you're going to play multiple tunes for Legion, do you have any suggestions to make it go smoothly? And Cyclone adds on to it, more specifically asking about leveling alts. Although this expansion isn't as alt-friendly as Draenor, it's still not too bad. In terms of leveling, there are a few things you can do. One thing I recommend is to log into all of your characters at least once, because typically when the level cap is raised, you need to do that in order to start generating rested XP. And of course, make sure you log out in a rested area. Another tip, and this is more for people who plan on leveling a lot of alts, is to progress your Order Hall campaign to the point where you need to send your followers out on Order Hall missions. Since these missions can take an upwards of a day to complete, this is something you can just log in once per day on each character to work on. I believe it's different for each class, but in general, I think you may be able to get that specific quest at level 101 to level 103. And for the actual leveling experience, I do recommend an add-on. It's called Khan's Legion, and think of it as an autopilot for questing. This add-on has a lot of features. Some of the highlights are auto-quest pickups and completions, even auto-selecting a reward if you want. This can save a bit of time and clicks if you already went through the leveling process and you don't want to read the quest text again or anything like that. And similarly, you can also auto-skip the cutscenes if you don't care about those. You can also use their custom quest tracker UI, which I prefer over the default style that you get, and you can show an XP window that gives you your progress on your level and also that of your party members as well if you're leveling with friends. And the highlight of this add-on is the glaive window with the waypoint. This gives you very brief instructions on where to go and what to do and how to do it as efficiently as possible. This can actually save you a ton of time, and it just doesn't say go here and kill X amount of enemies. If your quest is in a cave or something like that, it'll give you a waypoint to the entrance of that cave. Or if there's an elevator you need to go down, it'll give you a waypoint to that as well. If it's faster to hearth to an area instead of walking all the way back, it'll tell you to do that, and even reminding you to set your hearth when you start a new zone. So like I said, it's an autopilot for leveling, and as a testament of how good it is, I haven't opened up my map a single time since I started using it. I think it's a really nicely done add-on that's been gaining some popularity recently, and I eventually want to make a full-blown video about it. It does have some downsides though, and that's the fact that it only works for Legion questing, and even still it doesn't cover some of the class-specific quests that you do before entering the Broken Isles. It's all manually done, which is a good thing, but the trade-off is that it has a pretty small scope at the moment, and it only works for the 5 zones in Legion. And I'd only recommend it if you already leveled once and you want to skip everything. Even still though, you can turn off the cutscene skip and the auto quest accept and completion in the options menu. You can also change the size and move any of the windows wherever you want if you don't like their default setting. So overall, it's not too bad. If it piqued your interest and you'd like to try it, I'll have a link to it in the description. Another quick tip if you want to earn some extra gold is to pick up the Scavenger Shoulder enchant. This is made by enchanters and you can buy it off the auction house. You put it on your shoulders and it gives you a chance to loot a cache that contains around 20 to 30 Shal'dorei silk. So you'll pick up quite a few of them on your journey to 110 and earn some extra gold. The downside is that you're stuck with those shoulders. That's not a huge deal though, since leveling really isn't the hardest thing to do in the world. You can get away with having slightly lower eye level shoulders until you hit level 110. It's also worth noting that this enchant works on shoulders of any eye level, so you can even throw it on a lower level character's heirloom shoulders and you'll be good to go. Anyways, next we have a question from Brennan S. He asks, which expansion was the best in my opinion? I won't really say which expansion is the best since it's subjective, but as for my favorite expansion, I'd say it'd have to be Wrath of the Lich King, and that's for a number of reasons. I think first and foremost what I liked the most about it was the story. I think this was the first expansion where they really started to get into all of the lore and the story of the Warcraft series. This expansion, as you know, focused on the story of Arthas Menethil and how he turned into the Lich King. Before this, I didn't even know a story really existed. Like many others, World of Warcraft was my first game in the Warcraft series for me, so I was just playing the game for the gameplay. It was around this expansion when I started to visit sites like WoWWiki to see the background to everything. Reading up on the story that this universe had to offer and even seeing it firsthand in-game through quests and instances like the Culling of Stratholme was really cool to me. It's also the expansion that had the Ulduar raid, which is one of my top raids out of all of them. Going through pretty much every one of those fights was a blast, and it was back when I had a lot of friends still playing. We would do 10-mans every night and we actually did really well. I believe we got the server first Ulduar clear on 10-man mode, which was awesome. So because of those reasons, this expansion was the most fun and memorable for me, and I still like to visit it every now and then and run some of the old raids and whatnot. Anyways, next up we have a question from another longtime viewer, Taters58, who asked if I ever thought of doing a face reveal. This is a question I get quite a lot, and to answer it I have, but it's not something I really consider to be super important. A lot of people do wonder why I haven't shown my face yet, and it's not really for any reason, I guess. I just haven't seen a reason to do a face reveal. I don't really consider myself a personality or anything like that. You know, this channel is all about World of Warcraft guides. I don't really try to inject anything other than that into my videos. And I kinda like that. I think it makes things a little more unique. I think for the most part, face cams or face reveals are pretty standard practice nowadays. Just take a look at most Twitch or YouTube channels. Most channels have some sort of a face cam or a series where they're vlogging in front of a camera or whatever. I think now it's more rare to not know the face behind a YouTube or a Twitch channel, and that's something that I think is kind of neat. It sort of adds some uniqueness and mystery to things, so I guess that's why I haven't done anything like that yet. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's bad to have a face cam or anything like that. Like I said, I might do it in the future. I'm just saying for now, it's not something I really consider to be super important, and I'm just sort of going with the flow of things. And lastly, we have a question from Team Flak Gaming. He or she asks if I'll ever livestream World of Warcraft. Live streaming is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. Some of the super veterans out there may know that's where I actually got my start in the world of content creation. I used to livestream mainly Diablo 3 on Twitch, but also some of my other favorite series such as Dark Souls, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, and so on. That was back when I was in college though, and I had a lot more free time. I guess recently what's been stopping me were three things: bad internet, a bad computer, and just finding the spare time. I'm happy to say that the first two things are now fixed, so it's just a matter of finding the time, I guess. Right now I'm rationing my time between my YouTube channel and other personal hobbies and whatnot, but at least soon I want to do a test stream where I get all of my settings right, such as the bitrate, streaming resolution, FPS, all that sort of stuff. So in the description I'll have a link to my old Twitch channel where I'll be doing that. The link is twitch.tv/MadSeason_. I'm only going to stream on this channel for that test stream though, because I want to point all of my old followers to my new official Twitch channel, and that's twitch.tv/MadSeasonShow, just like my YouTube username. After that first test stream, all future streams will be on this channel since I want the names to match up. As for the question if I'll ever stream World of Warcraft, I'm not sure. I think MMO streams in general can be pretty boring unless you have the personality to carry it. I mean, all it would be is me knocking out my daily stuff such as world quests and whatnot, and maybe the odd arena run or dungeon run here and there. If I'm going to stream, I want it to be something interesting or entertaining for everyone, and I'm not sure if I can do that through World of Warcraft. I might do some other games though. Like I mentioned, Dark Souls is one of my favorite series, and I streamed all of Dark Souls 1 and 2 in the past, and it was a lot of fun for me. So I was thinking of playing through Dark Souls 3 and streaming it since I haven't beaten that yet. And maybe other random games such as Darkest Dungeon, Resident Evil 7 when that comes out, and so on. But as far as World of Warcraft streams, I'm not sure. So check out those channels if that's something that interests you. But that's about all I have for you, I guess. That concludes Q&A number 3. There were a lot more great questions, but, can't get to them all. I don't want to make these too long to where they're boring to watch. I hope you had fun watching though, and if you have any questions for Q&A number 4, go ahead and leave them below. And if you're a supporter on Patreon, go ahead and leave them somewhere on there. I'll be able to find them. Anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a like if you liked it, and if you really liked it, let me know in the comments and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, good luck, and peace.